Welcome to Ickham, the village that sounds a little bit like you're clearing your throat. Ickham. But it has looks straight out of perhaps a painter's daydream. Nestled in the deep Kentish countryside, it's got everything you want, from storybook English village, winding lanes, medieval routes, and a pub you might never want to leave. And that uncanny sense that time has just decided to take a slower route. Now, this is part of my Discovering Kentish Villages series, and I'll leave a link here. And Ickham might be just one of those that surprises you the most, not because it shouts for attention, but because it hums softly, confidently, and it hums beautifully. We get the odd car as well. But don't let the postcard looks fool you, because beneath the thatches and the brick, there's a good bit of history humming along. Charles Darwin had close links here. Fleetwood Mac's Christine McVie was known to pop into the local pub. I'll leave a comment here, someone told me about that. And the pilgrims once tramped through the lanes on their way to Canterbury. There are also whispers of Saxons, paganism, and even smugglers' tales. And if you ask the right person, preferably after a second pint, you might get some revealing stuff. And before anyone asks, Ickham is not a forgotten Harry Potter spell. Ickham. It's got a pond here as well. So join me through this wander through these crooked lanes. There's some wonderful architecture, wartime relics, and I think some great opportunities for some photography. I am armed with my DSLR, so in no particular order, just I'm going to film it because of the places that I'm at. Oh, it feels like rain. I haven't brought a coat. But I'll edit it all together so that we get some cohesive lineage of my trip through Ickham. Ickham. Now, Ickham has connections to World War II. I did a video about a series of pillboxes that start at the top of the lane, come through Wickhamborough, and then through Ickham into Barming and then beyond. There are, I think, 7 or 8. I'll put a link up here. It's this video. And I kind of had to try and discover them by myself. And here's the first of the 2. And it's not all medieval musings and flint charm. Tucked away behind the hedgerows and near the village, you'll find 2 pillboxes. They're kind of concrete reminders of the village that once prepared for war. These squat little bunkers were built during World War II, when the threat of Nazi invasion felt very real. Britain braced itself, even sleepy places like Ickham, with its duck pond and church bells, and they were ready to bite back. And you can imagine some poor home guard chaps stuck inside on lookout duty, probably cursing the lack of sandwiches and the abundance of damp. And I think they are damp inside too. It's a curious thing. These wartime relics, now softened by wildflowers and moss, and feel oddly poetic, don't they? But it's something that's not faded away. So I think it's a photo opportunity. I can't really access it, but it's nice for historic purposes. But look at all the bales of hay and the moody sky. You know, I'm here for photography, not just a history walk. Let's pop that there. See if I can get something dynamic here. It's a case of there could be some leading lines, but maybe just straight across. What do you think? Look at that sky, that's horrendous. Horrendous. Let's go into aperture priority. I can do f11. Just want to get the sky. It's just dynamic. Shall I get a zoom in with the sky? Going to do a couple of shots because I always do this. I might be able to get myself a letterbox pano just of the hay bales, circular ones. Right, I want a shot of this pillbox, and you know, I'll show you the next one in a moment. But I did this on my walking tour, but I didn't take any photographs of them. Maybe try and get something aspecty out of it. Something crouched down. with the light coming through. Can you imagine it, World War II? The chaps defending their home territory. Lovely. Let me show you the second one. Oh, look at that blue paint. I'm not going to wipe my trousers with that. I feel like there's a palm, isn't it? Something of Lord of the Rings. It's chalk. I hope it's chalk. Let me take you to the second one. So just over my left there is Wickham. See my other video if you're interested. It's the Wickham. It was the second in my series of village videos. But up on the hill between the church and the that roof of that house, you can see the yellow field in the background. The first of the pillboxes. The second one is by the river store. Third one is just here. And the fourth one we've just visited down there. Then you've got Barming and several more. But you've got to see that other video. Now, I don't know if you'll see this because I believe this is it, the other pillbox. But it's all covered in... I think this is it. I will walk around, see if we can see anything. The brambles have taken... No, that's just a bramble bush. It must be along here. I could have sworn that was it. Oh, here it is here. By this tree, beautiful tree, you can suddenly see the man-made concrete creeping up. It's another pillbox. Can you see how much the land has reclaimed it? Either it has sunk or the land has grown up around the pillbox. I think these are fascinating. You know, they hark back to a nation prepared to defend itself against the tyranny of the jackboot and the home guard, as well as local, what would you call them? Battalions, brigades. I'm not into the military, so I don't quite know what they would be called, but yeah, they would be stationed here. There's nothing photography worthy, but I thought I would just show it to you. But coming through here, because we do want to do the church eventually, but I was just looking at the church from here, across the fields. That's got to be a nice shot, hasn't it? With the moody sky and shafts of sunlight coming through. It just looks lovely. I'm going to do a little pano here. That's a close-up pano. Then I'll zoom out and just have the church with the dynamic sky and the shafts of light. Come on, you can do it, sunlight. There we go. It's illuminating the trees. Can't go far wrong. Let me take you up the street and we'll meander from the bottom end where the other pillbox was and past the duck pond, past some old buildings, past the pub, and we'll eventually look at the Oast house and the church inside. So I want to start at the street and walk all the way through the village and stop at a few locations, take some shots, that kind of thing, and give you some historical stuff. But look at this. I just love the old historic building. It's got a historic plaque about it. What a great scene. I've got a couple of shots here. I've got the house framed with the entrance, the bushes, but also that corrugated roof. Kind of, it's an old barn or shed. This is one of the quieter villages. I've only had one or two cars coming through. What a scene. You know, it's almost like the house is so old, you can almost hear it whispering to you. It's probably saying, hey mate, I was built before Shakespeare's parents even got married, so show some respect. Oh, I love it, I love it. I think I'm going to take the house with the barn, with its Tudor chimneys. I can crop out the Land Rover just to try and make it oldie-worldy. I haven't investigated if Francis Frith did any photographs here. I don't think he did. I'm not in the road. Some people. I just want one of the gate. Let's walk on down the street. Oh, we can look at the duck pond as well. Look at this, the old pond. Were duck ponds an important feature in villages? Maybe they reared the ducks so that they could harvest them for their eggs and things. Got a couple of bird posts there. And the sign. So a couple of shots here, I think. One of the sign, one of the bird pond, and then a zoom in on the brick wall. Tracker! And there's the beginning of the street, those lovely old houses. Not getting the light. The light is shining on the black letters. Nice. The pond. Do a pano here. I'm at 18. I really must think about investing in a 10 to 24 because then I could drop it down to like 12 mil, 15 mil. 18 is the minimum on this. However, I then get 200 mil reach, which I very much enjoy. Part of my photography. Right, let's walk down the street. If I see something fascinating, I'll give you a heads up. So as we wander down the street, that's literally what it's called, so no points for originality. We're walking on a road that's seen centuries of footsteps. Pilgrims on their way to Canterbury would have come this way, weary, blistered, and dreaming of salvation, and maybe just a warm bed or something. Or something stronger than holy water, right? The houses are a lesson in quiet character. So there's flint cottages tucked behind rose-covered fences. Some modern ones, some slightly wonky ones, some manor houses. And some of these buildings predate everyone's great anyone. You're half expecting to turn the corner and find someone in a tabard selling turnips. Looks lovely, look at that, the way that's all set up. I think I can get a shot of that, just the gate and the wall, just giving me that village vibe, you know. This village is linked very closely to Wickham, which is just around the corner. Did I leave that recording? I just had a conversation with that lady and that's her house. You have to be clear with these things because people don't like the intrusion, and I'm trying to be respectful. You know, I'm not zooming in on properties and things like that. But that's beautiful. It's just typical of an English manor house. Well, it's called Ickham Hall. Just look at that brick wall. What an aspect, eh? We're halfway through the village already. Look at these old timber framed houses. There's a shot. I bet Francis V did a shot there. Fern cottage on that side. I want to be mindful and I want to be respectful. I don't want to be just taking pictures of people's houses as I walk along. So far, you know, Eastery, and I've had some great feedback from the Eastery video, people getting in touch, inviting me to go back and go in and knock on the door and take photographs, which is fabulous. But I can understand the reticence because people are worried about, you know, someone scouting for doing robbery and things like that. You don't need an SLR to do that, right? You can just walk along with your mobile phone and do that if you're of that mind and that ilk. The old post house with a post box in the wall. You know what this means, don't you? Next collection is Saturday, it says on there. I'm a respectable type. But you know what? It is public, isn't it, my channel? GR, George Regina. Which George, though? Let's take a walk up here without taking photographs of people's houses. Victoria Cottage. I wonder how much maintenance these kind... Oh, here's one of the little alleyways. You can imagine... Oh no, it's not an alleyway, it's just a path. But I like... My video camera is giving me an aspect. So I'm going to take a shot of that. Here's the picture. Lines, leading lines. So there's a wind coming up, but it's also sunny. What do you think of this one? I've got two possibilities here. Look at it bathed in the sun. And then the brick wall going all the way down the street. With some modern cars. There's nothing you can do about them. But I do think that modern cars capture the essence of 2025, right? When I'm taking the pictures. The street. I'm going to go down. Nice. Discovering Kentish Villages, you know. I might do two shots here. One for the flowers, just capturing them. They're pretty. Watch out, motorcycle. Oh, smell the oil, petrol. So we're going to see quite a few of these kind of leading lines and alleyways. We'll do the church in a minute. Church is just up there. Look at the old vicarage in the back. This was one of the main routes from Canterbury to Sandwich. So the Duke William was actually a coaching house. You can imagine it in the 17th and 18th, even the 19th century, horse-drawn carriages with, you know, landed gentry and the like stopping by. And so you can see the cones, the roof of the Oast house. So this was an old Oast and hop making. It's all private houses now. Here's a picture. But they are the famous Oast houses of Ickham, and I'll take you to them when I can find the little alleyway. It's along here somewhere. Here it is. If we go down here, we can get to the Oast houses. Let me give you a bit of gen while we're walking there, because there's something unmistakably Kentish when you see a traditional Oast house. And they're dotted right across the countryside, but the one here, which is behind the Duke William pub, which is cooking food, is particularly striking because it's got four tops, for want of a better word. Way back when I did a video here where I was scouting for locations. So we come back here, we've got this public right of way. In fact, there's two public footpaths, one that way and one that way. Now, I'm thinking that is due west, which means the sun would normally set in that direction. So east would be here. You might get the sunrise. Look at that Oast house, isn't that spectacular? The Oast houses were built for drying hops. So back when Kent was the heart of England's beer industry, just make sure I've got the right one, these conical kilns used to be filled with hops laid out on slatted floors, and a fire beneath them would gently dry them out, and the white cowled tops at the top of the building would spin in the direction of the wind and let the heat and the smoke come out. So most of them are converted into homes these days, and you can see why, because, you know, they're kind of rugged in appearance, but they're beautifully crafted, aren't they? I just have to work out, do I get a nice shot from down here with the country path going up? Yeah, that's a nice shot, isn't it? Only because I want to get... Oh, I can smell the food from the Duke... Is it Duke William? It's not the Duke of William. It's called the Duke William, like the Queen's head. 18 mil coming out. I think I need to get down lower. Let's put you this side so that you can see what I'm doing. It's always good to show you the perspective, isn't it? So I am in F13 at the moment, which should give me enough of the foreground in focus. But if I come down, I'll get a nice perspective. I think I might zoom in, pushing it to the left. I'm going to zoom in just to get the Oast house by itself. Very nice. So I was doing some research in terms of who are the famous people here, and I came up with three. One is a guy called William Osmond Fisher, and he was a geologist around the time of Charles Darwin, and he became quite an associate of Charles Darwin's because they would correspond with one another, writing letters to each other. The other is a guy called Edward Isaac, who was a Protestant theologian. During the time of Queen Mary I, Henry Tudor's first daughter to Catherine of Aragon, because she was Catholic, she persecuted the Protestants, and a lot of Protestants became what's called Marian exiles. And I think it's to do with the fact that it's Queen Mary, right, who was the Bloody Mary, persecuting and killing Christians or Protestants. So Henry VIII had turned the country into Protestantism. He dies, Mary gets the throne. 5 or 6 years she's on the throne, and she turns the country back into Catholic. She dies, Elizabeth becomes queen, she turns the country back into Protestants, and we are Protestant ever since. Now, we think about the gunpowder plot. That was the Catholics trying to blow up James I, who was James VI of Scotland, so that they could put their own Prince Charlie, Bonnie Prince Charlie's dad, back on the throne, making him Catholic. So it's all about religious wars, isn't it? So that's the third person, Edward Isaac. And no, that was the second. The third person I mentioned was that you had Christine McVie coming to the pub. Now, if Kentish Villages are the poetry, then the pubs are the punctuation. The Duke of William is a standout, apparently a heart of the village spot. Great food, thoughtful ales, and if the rumours are true, the odd rock star popping in. Now, I had a comment, and the comment said that Christine McVie used to frequent the Duke William. Beautiful old thing, and that was a coaching house, wasn't it? Now, if those walls could sing, they would definitely have backing vocals, and yes, I did restrict the urge to hum everywhere. But we could go our own way, couldn't we? Shall I get a shot of it? We've got some old manor houses. What's that? No access to the church. You can see the church behind. That's a beautiful old house. The village basically ends there, so I want to take a few shots around here, and then we'll go and conclude in the church, I think. So I'm trying to capture Ickham Court. It's a shame there's a car unloading. That's the way it goes, but let's get a shot of the Duke of William. I want to call it the Duke of William. It's the Duke William, isn't it? The Duke of William. Duke William. Zoom in on the sign. It's so quaint, isn't it? This is kind of modern here. Let's get that shot down that way. Try and exclude the cars. You didn't see me take the shot, but I took the shot. Let's go and have a look at the church, finish the video. But look at this. Isn't that amazing? I would imagine the thatched roof is old, but the wood has been rebuilt, and maybe even the brickwork. But that's some old barn. Should we take a look at the church? This is this church of St. John the Evangelist. 1914 to 1919, the Great War, right? This, I don't know if it's open, we'll have a look, but it's the parish church of Ickham, and parts of it date back to the 11th century. So the tower has seen everything from plagues, pilgrims, and probably more than a few whispered secrets during evensong, I would have thought. What's remarkable here is that it isn't just the age, but the sense of quiet continuity. you think it's open. Please come in. All are welcome. Oh, it's nice and cool in here. Hat's off time. Let's just leave that hat there for a minute. I'm going to leave my camera here. And I'll give you just a little walk around. Let's take a look and see what the church is like. Then I can take some photographs. It is modest and functional, isn't it? Look at that. A spiral staircase leading up to the tower. I'd love to go up there. No entry. That would be wonderful. It's going to make a nice picture. This is where they toll the bells, right? Bell pealing. Ding, ding, ding. Don't do it, Tudor. Look, you could imagine an original bell. You could see the hole in the ceiling. So the rope would have come down and through the wall. Through this thing in the wall. Oh, it looks it's huge, isn't it? Think village churches. How come these churches are so big? Religion was the strength. It was the hub of the community. All the way, I would suggest, up until, shall we say, the 1800s? No, that was, Christianity and faith was still the number one thing. Because when I think of Jane Austen's times, the people had choices of the military, parliament, or the church. They were the main professions to go into. Look at that ceiling, it's astonishing. So maybe the turning of the 20th century, 1900s, you've got the First World War, fight for God and country. Then, of course, you had the Second World War, and then you had the dawning of the age of Aquarius. That was the song in the late 60s, maybe even 1970. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I remember my parents playing that song. I would have been 7. Is that when religion diversified so much that it became less of a prominent thing? It's like all these stained glass windows. These are the only stained glass windows here in the church. Lord's Prayer, Exodus. So who sits here? The choir, choristers. Got the lectern, or whatever it is, preaching pulpit. And anyone who's a guest speaker and they're giving their word. Hi there. Sorry?
I've come to clean.
Oh gosh.
Ignore me.
It looks spotless.
Well, it's one of my things.
Oh, okay.
So I have a lovely rota of people.
Yeah.
And I want it to be a church that people come in and just
And it's amazing that I can, because I live in Whitton, the other side of Lyddon, and I'm doing a YouTube channel thing about Kentish villages.
Woodton, my husband sings in your
Oh, what, with Jo Jones? She's the one that leads it, doesn't she?
Penny.
Oh, Penny, yes. I forget her surname, yeah.
Yeah, he comes over every week and sings, and he buys raffle tickets.
At the village hall.
Village fete and stuff. And it's obviously, it's like a...
So what was there before then? Was it just
it was a ladder. It was a wooden ladder, because there was wood across here, so this was shut, and then you stepped down, but there was a ladder up to a whole lot there something.
Oh, really? What, just vertical almost? Like on a ship?
Deadly.
Gosh, that would have been... At least they've got a banister now so that you won't feel...
If you go, I mean, we obviously got the thing, don't go up there.
Yeah.
If you do go up there, I've been up there several times, and you just feel safe, because you don't feel you can fall.
Can I go up there?
We can...
I will just go up so that I can say I went up.
You have to be at your own risk.
I appreciate that.
Obviously, it's not a thing we encourage.
No,
You won't tell anybody,
I won't. This is great. Oh, it's a tight squeeze. So do they still do bell ringing here?
It's these, we had all the bells reordered, but they don't chime. They don't ring like this.
Oh, okay.
They run from here,
Yeah.
and it's like a striking of the bells.
Okay, because you've got these wooden things here, so there must have been 4 or 3 maybe.
There's four roundabouts. If you came when they're ringing them, you can hear, it's not like normal. But it sounds okay.
I was just getting jelly feet. I was like, I'm getting jelly legs. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I felt brave for a minute. That's it. Right, back down. It's one of those things that you look at it and you almost want to say, I accept the challenge. But then when you do the challenge, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Right, I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to leave you with a gallery. That was the end of my Ickham video. Thank you so much for watching. And be careful, you might be converted into Christianity. See you in the next video.